Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar have shocking net worth 2025. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Jim Bob Duggar has been living a private life since the CSAM arrest of his son Josh in April 2021. Since then, numerous sources have surfaced, exposing some shocking stories about Jim Bob and the IBLP. Michelle hasn't been active on social media like she used to. Josh's arrest also resulted in TLC's decision to part ways with them. This led to many people becoming curious about how they're generating income amid their large family. Keep reading to see Jim Bob and Michelle's net worth today. Counting on Jill Duggar and Derek Dillard's shocking allegations about Jim Bob. Jill and Derek previously participated in a podcast where they shared a shocking story about Jim Bob. According to the Counting On alums, they were screwed over by Jim Bob, adding that he lied about the family's income. Derek added that his father-in-law continued hiding things until they figured things out. In the book that Jill wrote, she revealed that the family earned over $8 million throughout their 10-year TV run, but she and Derek only received $175,000 of the profits, adding that it was not the reasonable fair amount. Some fans also worried that Jim Bob may get into trouble with the IRS for lying about their income. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's net worth. Jim Bob Duggar was born on July 18, 1965, in Springdale, Arkansas. He was the son of James Lee Duggar and Mary Duggar. He grew up with wealthy parents who both owned a real estate brokerage. The Counting On alum graduated from Silo Christian School. Since then, he has dedicated his life to serving in the IBLP under Bill Gothard's supervision. Jim Bob eventually opened his own construction and real estate business, where some of his kids worked. He also pursued a political career between 1999 and 2002. Jim Bob was part of the Arkansas House of Representatives for the 6th District during that year. According to reports, Jim Bob has a net worth of $3.5 million. The majority of his income came from the reality show and real estate. In 2014, Jim Bob purchased a 10,186 square foot mansion in Arkansas for $230,000. He then renovated the property and sold it for $1.53 million in 2020. It was also reported that Michelle shares the same net worth as her husband. The married couple raised 19 children together, and most of them still support their parents. Counting On Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar's latest sightings. Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar have been appearing more in some of their kids' social media posts and vlogs. The two have had numerous appearances in Jana's house renovation vlog in Nebraska. They've been supportive of the newlyweds, though many fans were surprised when Jim Bob didn't give any property to the couple, which he usually does when someone in the family gets married. Many Counting On fans have also noticed that Jim Bob and Michelle lost some weight. It's unclear if it's due to the stress caused by Josh's arrest, but Jana previously revealed that they'd been living a healthy lifestyle in the big house before she married Stephen. Jinger Duggar isn't mad at parents for raising family in IBLP. They did their best. Jinger Duggar is sharing how she really feels about being raised under the fundamentalist Christian teachings of the Institute in Basic Life Principles IBLP organization. During the Wednesday, February 12th, episode of the Jinger and Jeremy podcast, the former TLC star and her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, answered frequently asked questions from fans. Are you angry at your parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, for leading you to follow the Institute of Basic Life Principles? Vuolo, 37, asked his wife. Dinger, 31, wasted no time replying. No, she said. And I can say that very clearly because I see how so many families wanted the guarantee for success for their kids. They were promised it, and they said, if you do this, your kids will turn out. And so I think that a lot of parents who walked into IBLP, they were well-meaning. Duggar's honest quotes about her upbringing, cult comparisons, modest dressing, and more. Duggar acknowledged that there will be challenges and struggles that I face because of the way she was raised. It's not always easy. And looking at it as a parent now, I can see how easy it was for my parents to get wrapped up in that teaching, she continued. They went into it thinking, this is how we're going to teach our kids to love Jesus, and who doesn't want that? According to Duggar, many families ended up not seeing the success that was promised by IBLP and its founder, the controversial minister Bill Gothard. And that's what's heartbreaking, she explained, because as a parent you want to make the best decisions, pray through what you're supposed to do. And I really believe my parents sought to do that for us kids. I don't have any anger toward them for it because, I just see that they did their best. They did what they thought was right in the moment. Duggar and her 18 siblings grew up following Gothard's teachings, which included homeschooling and dressing modestly. In an exclusive interview with Us Weekly, Duggar previously described her upbringing as cult-like in many ways. It was built on fear, manipulation, control, and superstition. So all those things combined in how hard it is for kids to leave or adults to leave anyone, really. Once you hear the teachings, you're not supposed to depart from those, she told us in January 2023. Duggar recalled feeling gripped with fear when she was younger. I'd be thinking, am I pleasing to God? I don't know what God expects of me. And so I would be so terrified to, even go play sports with my siblings. I'd think, maybe I'm supposed to stay home and read my Bible for hours and hours. I'm not sure, she continued. So that kind of fear did cripple me. Duggar says her relationship with parents is not perfect, but she still loves them. The Counting on Alum reflected on her childhood further in her books, Becoming Free Indeed and People Pleaser, the latter of which was released this year. She referred to IBLP as a form of Fox Christianity that was all built on the appearance of holiness, writing in People Pleaser, if you messed up in that setting, you were at risk for losing your community by not living up to the Gothard standards. Duggar isn't the only Duggar to distance herself from the IBLP lifestyle. Her sister Jill Duggar has also been candid about leaving the ultra-conservative practice behind and about her strained relationship with Jim Bob, 59, and Michelle, 58. Duggar, however, has insisted that she feels grateful for the upbringing she had. It was not perfect, but at the end of the day, I'm grateful for my parents, Duggar said on the Unplanned podcast in June 2024. I love them. We have differences. Everything's not perfect between us. But I think that at the end of the day, I love them, and I know that they know that. Critics call Michelle Duggar psycho after her comments about putting her marriage above her kids' resurface. The Duggar family's reality TV career ended years ago, but comments they've made on camera in the past are coming back to haunt them. This time, it's Michelle Duggar's comments about putting her relationship with husband Jim Bob above what her kids might need from her that she made on an episode of 19 Kids and Counting years ago. And people are so taken aback by this that they're going so far as to call her psycho. Michelle's interesting take on marriage versus kids is getting attention all over again. A post titled "She's a Psycho" featured a quote Michelle made on the show, which said, "Marriage came before motherhood in my life, so my marriage needs to come first. Even though you got to be a mom and you might have to get up in the middle of the night when a kid throws up all over the place, and you might not get much sleep, you still need to put your marriage relationship first. Because your kids, they need you, but your spouse needs you first and foremost." People have a lot of thoughts about Michelle's comments. One person called her the worst poster woman for motherhood and marriage, while another said she definitely wasn't available for her daughters. That's so crazy because I literally had to get my son from school today because he was throwing up. The last thing I'm thinking about is my partner, one fellow parent wrote. Others could see where she was coming from, kind of. While obviously you do need to put effort into your marriage if you want to stay married, that doesn't really compare to a baby or child who is literally dependent on you to live, one person pointed out. Another commenter added, "There is a kernel of truth to the whole. If the parents are miserable with each other, everyone is miserable idea, but that's where the truth stops." This isn't the first time Michelle has shared this philosophy. Michelle shared her advice for newlyweds in a blog post she published on the Duggar family's website back in 2015 when her daughter Jill married her now husband, Derek Dillard. After writing about staying joyfully available in the bedroom for her husband, Michelle went on to emphasize her beliefs that wives should put their husbands first. "I'll share this advice with Jill, so she knows that she's got to be a wife first, and then later, Lord willing, she'll be a mother," she wrote at the time. "Her responsibility before God and Derek needs to come first. It's not just me and the Lord, it's me and the Lord and my husband." Jill Duggar Dillard shares devastating ER visit pic. Jill Duggar Dillard is back with an emotional update amid her healing journey. The 33-year-old suffered a miscarriage in April 2024. It was a heartbreaking time for Jill and her family. It took her some time to get back on her feet and start sharing content about her family. But it seems Jill still hasn't moved on from her loss. She even uploaded a photo of herself during their devastating ER visit. Keep reading to see the picture. Counting on, Jill Duggar's loss leads to healing with parents. Jill's heartbreaking loss last April led to her reconnection with some of her siblings and parents. The Counting on alum has been estranged from her family for years, especially from Jim, Bob, and Michelle. However, everyone from the family attended Isla Marie's funeral. Since then, Jill began to spend more time with her siblings. Jill and Derek also attended the family's Christmas party last year, where Jim Bob was spotted chatting with them. She admitted that things are still complicated between them, but they've been trying their best to spend time together whenever they can. Jill shares devastating ER visit pic. Jill Duggar Dillard recently took to social media to share more photos from her heartbreaking miscarriage. The Counting on alum uploaded a picture during their ER visit. Her eyes are still swollen in the photo, showing that she cried so much after learning about her loss. According to Jill, it's been 1 year since her miscarriage. She added that their hearts were shattered when they were told that Isla Marie's heart was no longer beating. Meanwhile, some fans took to her comments section to pray and wish for her recovery. Counting on, Jill Duggar admits there isn't a quick fix. Jill Duggar Dillard also shared a lengthy message a few days ago where she talked about how she's been dealing with her miscarriage. According to the Counting on alum, there isn't a quick fix for the loss, adding that it's like living her life with an amputation. She revealed that the pain of loss never goes away, and the healing process can be grueling. She continued, and might I add, it can take lots of time, prayer, tears, support, and help to get there.